From the Black Swan.
I screwed up, guys. Here we go.
From the Black Swan Media Studios, deep inside a secret underground bunker, we're speaking to freedom-loving patriots from all around the country and the world. Welcome to the Resistance. This is John Crump, live.
How is everyone doing? I don't know if the alert went out yet. For some reason, they were all running late. But my name is John Crump. You know the drill. You know who I am. I'm a reporter, and I am also a gun rights advocate. And yes, I do see the Wolverines out there. So here we go. Wolverines! Yes, we are in a secret underground bunker. We are sponsored by Tusk. Tusk is a cryptocurrency focused on the firearms market.
Proudly sponsored by TUSC, the only cryptocurrency designed with the firearms market in mind, with 3-second processing times. It's the fastest cryptocurrency on the planet. With lower transaction fees than traditional credit cards. It's perfect for your e-commerce needs. For gun guys, by gun guys. Visit TUSC.network for more information and join the digital revolution.
Definitely check out Tusk at Tusk.network. We are also sponsored by Black Swan Tactical. Black Swan Tactical is a online t-shirt shop where you can get awesome t-shirts, patches, mugs, and more.
Black Swan Tactical, your #1 source for 2A streetwear. With shirts, mugs, hats, patches, flags, and more. There's always something to help you rep the 2A community. All proceeds go back into our projects. Viewers and listeners can take an additional 10% off with code CRUMPY. Unapologetically pro-gun, pro-liberty, and pro-freedom gear for the front lines of the culture war.
And my co-host Rich will not be on today, but that's fine. I can handle this all by myself, especially since we have an awesome guest today. He is a YouTuber, and he has a channel called Gun Reviews and News, where you talk about different types of firearms and also firearms news to a related news. And his name is David Drake. How you doing, David?
How you doing, John? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, how long have you been doing YouTube, by the way?
You know, like with any degree of regularity or seriousness, for about 3 years. I played around with it a little bit, maybe a couple of years prior to that. But as far as making a concentrated effort at getting content up and trying to develop my channel, it's been about 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah, I just came to know your channel recently. Jordan Stein of GOA shared it in our GOA chat, since I am a state director. And you were talking about a video where you talked about joining the GOA. What made you do that video, by the way?
Well, if you were to go back and look at my earlier videos that I put out, and before I rebranded as Gun News and Reviews, I was the Dr. Drake 63 channel, which was just like, it made no sense, whatever. It was just my Gmail handle, and that's what my YouTube account was. But anyway, I used to end my my videos with "I am the NRA," and a few years ago started becoming increasingly concerned about the direction of the NRA, the leadership of the NRA, and got to the point where I made a decision. I'm not going to support the NRA, but needed to be aligned with somebody that better represented the fight, better represented Second Amendment in its pure form, not in a politicized form, and started doing some research, and that's where I decided I was going to throw my weight and support behind the gun owners of America.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to have the same issues with gun owners of America than you do with the NRA. Come out, work with those guys all day long, and those guys are to a man or and a woman, because there's a lot of women that work at GOA too.
Yeah.
They all believe in the Second Amendment, and so they would like to do nothing else than to go do something else. And but the Second Amendment is under attack, so that's the reason why we defend the Second Amendment. But we all envision a world, and we would all love to live in a world where the Second Amendment wasn't under attack. It's just not the case.
Yeah, it's crazy. You look at our Bill of Rights in total, and how many of them, the first, the second, the third, the fourth, you name it, how many of them come under attack, like the Second Amendment, and really, I can't think anything that comes close. That's what I like about the GOA. My experience with them so far is that they are uncompromising and unyielding. You saw in the NRA and a lot of their supporters, a lot of folks take bump stocks, for instance. Hey, I don't use a bump stock. I don't see a need for a bump stock. And I'm one of those guys. I think a bump stock is, you'd be better off just taking a couple boxes of ammo and just throwing it down the street. They're worthless in terms of accuracy. That's not the point. The point is the ATF said, yeah, these are fine. And people went out and purchased them in good faith, and then came back and along with advisement and direction from the NRA. And I hate to also say President Trump at the time, oh, well, maybe we'll politicize these and we'll yank them back. And whether you think a bump stock's a good idea or not, whether or not you personally like them, or you're like me where you think there's better ways to waste ammo, it's not the point. It's about the principle.
Yeah, my best friend and chicken farmer, he brings me eggs all the time, is Rob Olson, who is the lead attorney on the bump stock case.
Oh, okay.
He was the one that got in the sixth. And one of the things that we were fighting so hard on the bump stock thing is because of Chevron deference. So using Chevron deference in a criminal situation on a criminal statute where they've never used Chevron deference in a criminal statute. And that's what they're using to push through these new proposed rules is Chevron deference. So if we can beat them at the bump stock thing, we can it'll knock back everything that they're trying to do now. And that was the whole point of the case. And GOA knew that if we would let them get away with the bump stock thing, then they would push it onto other things, and that's what we're seeing. So that's one of the reasons why we're like, you can't let them do it.
It's never going to stop. It's never going to stop. I mean, we talk about, and I saw you, I believe it was you that penned something on the GOA website talking about the boycott of Russian firearms and ammunition that was announced last week. Was that you? Did you write on that?
It might have been. I write probably about 600 articles a year.
Okay, but that's a perfect case in point. And it reminds me of bump stocks because I did my most popular segment of my channel is called Gun News in 5 Minutes or Less. And, with the help of my son who pointed this out, looking at metrics on my YouTube channel, people tune out after about 2 minutes. 3 minutes of engagement is actually pretty good. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to do bite-sized news bits and make it really short and to the point. Avoid editorialization because people do that in the comments section wonderfully. And that's accounted for a huge increase in viewership. But anyway, I did a piece about that, very short, just announcing it and putting a link up to the it's not the Justice Department brief on why they're doing this and what it encompasses. And Biden can't get the votes in Congress to have sweeping gun legislation, so now he's going to backdoor it. This has absolutely nothing to do with us caring about Russians poisoning other Russians. Okay, this has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Yeah, Russian ammunition and firearms is less than 1% of all money that comes from the United States to go to Russia. So it hurts them not at all. It's all about the controlling the flow of ammo. Oh, you can't do that. You're gonna get there's a YouTube rule where if it detects a firearm in your hands, it will kill the stream.
Really?
Yes.
Sorry about that.
No problem. No problem.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
No idea. I thought your viewers would get a kick out of that as a part of the discussion. So stream still good?
As far as I know, we are still on.
Okay.
Sometimes it takes. Yeah. Swamp Dog says nothing to see here.
That's funny. Well, sorry about that.
But yeah, I mean, it could be on on the shelf behind me. I have some old Navy and stuff like that. So we'll find out in 10 minutes. It can take up to 10 minutes before
can it show me holding a bullet?
Yeah, bullet's fine. I hope. There you go.
But I think that's what Biden's resorted to be honest with you. And by the way, I thought you were kidding when you said you can't do that. I thought, what are you talking about? This is a gun podcast.
It is, but they'll kill it. Like, we'll stay live because we broadcast to more than just YouTube. But,
yeah. No, my apologies, man.
No problem at all.
Didn't know that was a thing. Anyway.
What they're concerned about is there was a bunch of shootings, people live stream shootings, and people live stream suicides.
Sure.
So if a gun's in your hand, it's their policy to just kill the stream. That's why they can be on the shelf behind me. No big deal. It just can't be in your hand.
Understood.
That happened after the Christchurch shooting, where the guy streamed it to Facebook and YouTube.
So the only place it can't be is in my hands.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure I understand that.
Yeah. It could be sitting on a shelf. It could be anywhere else. You just can't. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. That's fine. I see 280U out there. He has a channel, and he held up a slide, and they killed his stream for a slide.
Wow. That's crazy. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the world we live in. And, one of the things that's a bit of a conundrum for me is, as a YouTube creator, I make money off of ad revenue, and, they are becoming more and more invasive and random. And, I'll get an email that says, we're demonetizing this video that has been up for 3 years. And, I'll do digging and chatting. And why is it? Well, you show modification of a gun. Wait a minute. I show a picture of a hunting rifle with a scope on it. That's not modification of a gun. So there's a lot of subjectivity out there in terms of people who are working for YouTube and Google and what they allow and how they interpret things. So, but at the same point in time, and this, it's the broadest highway out there. So it'd be great to say, everybody keeps saying, let's start up a conservative based or a firearms friendly website. And it's like, yeah, everybody likes the idea, but you know what? There's only 4 people on it. So how do you get something like that to get traction is the bigger issue.
Yeah, they killed one of my, not killed, but they demonetized. I have another channel that's bigger than this, but they demonetized one of my videos saying that I was showing the modification of a firearm, and I was just talking about a Second Amendment case. and I saw her appealed. I said, "There's no firearm in the video," and they were like, "Oh, we reviewed it and we upheld the decision." I'm like, "What?"
That's crazy. I post videos all the time of me shooting firearms of all types, and that's not a problem either. But I do understand what you're saying. Apparently, I am aware that there has been some people doing some pretty unsavory stuff live because that's how screwed up their life is. So
Yeah, it definitely is. So one of the other videos I wanted to talk about, you made a video where you say you would not become a life member of any organization.
correct.
And you're like, GOA might not like this, but GOA people are like, yeah, that's fine.
Well, I don't know if they'd like it or not, but I mean, I know that's one of the offerings when you join GOA is, you can be a life member, but and the reason is whatever I'm supporting, I know things can change on their end. Usually they don't change on my end, but things can change on their end. NRA is a perfect case in point. Under Wayne LaPierre, what's happened to that organization. So to me, life member is saying you got carte blanche to do whatever you want. And I don't believe in that. I believe no matter who you are, especially if you live off of dues, or in my case, dues, and I reach a lot of people with word of mouth, then I'm going to say, you know what? You got to earn it from me every year. Show me what you got, and I'll be happy to keep going.
So basically, you're a free agent.
Well, I'm not a free agent when it comes to my beliefs.
No, but I'm talking about who you're going to support.
Yeah. I mean,
they have to earn it.
I have no problem. I mean, like I said, everything I've seen from GOA so far is I'm more inclined to give them money that has nothing to do with my annual membership, because I think it's being used wisely.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. There was an event in Florida, and Eric Pratt was going to go. So he was looking up plane tickets, and the plane tickets were really expensive. So he's like, I'm not going to waste your money on a plane ticket. So he drove down in a minivan.
Sounds like John Madden.
Yeah. Like whenever we go somewhere, I get sent out. When we go to different parts, different events, we always try to get the cheapest thing, and we share rooms and everything else, because we believe that we want the money to go to good use, and we don't want to waste money on things that are not necessary.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, this is actually, they miss me apparently. And this is how they're trying to get me to join, is to get this shit right here.
The bags and stuff.
Yeah, and guess and here's the part. I don't know if you can see this. Hurry! The offer expires in 72 hours.
Before the next one comes up.
OxyClean here. If I mean, who are they actually marketing this to?
Yeah, it's like they're going to do one of those fake website countdowns.
Right. And so what? So I can get a Chinese-made range bag that is single-stitched? I mean, I don't get it, and I don't think they get it either. What's really surprising to me, I know people pay attention to what I put up on Facebook. That's what brought you to me, is somebody saw me talking about GOA, as you previewed earlier in the show. Another example, I put out a video that showed some of the new Rem arms, which is the startup of the old Remington arms licensing their name at their old factory, right? And they sent some items out, and there was 4 shotguns sitting on a shelf at a retailer that looked like total crap. And I've been covering everything to do with their bankruptcy, and here's where they're going to restart, and all the time making it really clear I'm rooting for these guys, right? My first ever rifle I ever owned was a 700. My first ever shotgun was an 870 back in the day. So hey, I'm a fan. So they got to put out this garbage, and all I did was show it and say, what's going on here? And they reached out to me. They didn't like that I put that video up, but guess what? I don't work for you, Remington, so tough shit. Make a better product. You don't have to worry about guys like me calling you out. But point is, I heard from him. Ted Nugent quit the board of the NRA, and I mentioned that he quit, and I speculated simply. I don't know if that was Ted's idea or theirs. Well, the Ted Nugent camp didn't like that and sent me an email and let me know, here's Ted's official press release. Okay. So that's all good. Here's my long point I'm getting at, but you told me we got an hour, so I'm being long-winded, I guess.
You can be as long-winded as you want. This is the thing about the show. We can go anywhere. The show can end up talking about anything.
Here's the long way of me getting to this point. I have butchered the NRA in a number of videos and said, in fact, the first one I did was called NRA, What the Hell Happened? Okay. And I did a few more where, I just talked about, the lawsuits they're involved in, the Ollie North thing, the thing with the ad agency. I covered the ground. I haven't heard a damn thing from anybody at the NRA. And I know somebody at the NRA has seen this. The only thing I heard from anybody at the NRA, John, was what I just showed you a minute ago. This ridiculous attempt to get my membership. Act now, and maybe you can get this. Give me a break. I like somebody put up on here, the NRA are the equivalents to the extended car warranty people. They are. I'm expecting somebody from Bangladesh to call me up at dinner time next. And I see, Mr. Rake, that your NRA, that's what I'm expecting next.
Yeah, somebody once told me about GOA. They're like, why didn't GOA have nicer membership cards? Like, is that what you're really concerned about?
Yeah, what do you get for it, right?
Yeah, membership card.
I like hearing you talking about sharing rooms and driving vans and stuff like that, because if you want my money, go fight the bad guys.
No, we love it. Rob Olson, who is the chief legal counsel for for GOA, we talk multiple times during the day about different cases, with different strategies, and I guarantee you, at midnight tonight, there'll be people that are discussing or talking about or strategizing about stuff at GOA. It's not when you take the job, they let you know it's not a 9-to-5 job.
Right.
And there's always something to do. Not saying that you can't, you don't take a break, you don't take a day of rest here or there.
Right.
But, when it's go time, it's go time. And, yeah.
It's what we need, man, because guess what? I mean, those a lot of deals getting made back room. I mean, what scares me now quite a bit is this whole infrastructure framework of $3.5 trillion that's completely undefined. And that's where you find out who your rhinos are. And we need to keep our eye on those people because we expect their support. And, a perfect case in point is this David Chipman.
Oh, yeah.
My understanding is he's dead in the Senate. In other words, that's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And Biden's not going to withdraw him because he probably forgot that he appointed him to begin with. But he's not going to withdraw him. So, but what scares me is that somebody goes to somebody, a couple swing senators and says, look, we want this guy. We're going to let you have XYZ pork barrel project in your district. It's going to help you get reelected, but you need to help us put Chipman through. Yeah. Imagine the knocks on the door.
Sorry about that. Somebody donated money. Whenever I get a super chat, it plays Wolverines. Sorry.
Eric Pratt is a man who lives in a van down by the river. That's funny.
But you're right. In Louisiana, I did an article on Inland about some corruption down there, and basically there was a state senator that voted for constitutional carry. Then all of a sudden he was against it, and then I found out, and I got proof that he basically traded his vote on constitutional carry to the governor for a overpass project. So we have to watch out for politicians because
it's what they do. It's what they do.
If you're a powerful politician, You didn't get to become a powerful politician from being honest most of the time. There's a few exceptions, but most of the time you didn't get there for being honest.
Absolutely. And you know, we have to keep our eye out for these guys, because it really comes down to, and I don't know what we can do to stop them other than let them know that they're accountable. But you know, it spooks the living heck out of me to think that, you know, that's how razor thin these margins are on a lot of important legislation, including the gun legislation. I mean, could you imagine the amount of pressure that Joe Manchin has on him from both parties? Because, you know, he's right there on the line. And but in my conversations with folks, and you know, I'll point out for anybody watching, I did a great interview. I thought it was a great interview with Phil Raboli from the GOA last week. Great guy.
Yeah, Phil is a guy that I'll be sharing a car with. Every time we go to somewhere, we live near each other, so we usually try to like fly in at the same time, so we can. If we have to rent a car, you have to go there from over GOA. We fly in at the same time, so we can rent the car, and we usually try to get the cheapest piece of crap ever.
Sure.
Although what we found by doing that, it really works out, because all the other car like places are like have really long lines. But if you rent a beat up, dented car from a no-name company, usually get in and out really fast.
So John and Phil coming to you in a minivan in the near future. Check your side view mirror.
Yeah, well, I think last time we had like a old Hyundai Sonata that really dented back. I mean, it looked like it was in a demolition derby.
Drive it like you don't got a dime in it. But no, I mean, it's been cool. And I mean, one of the things that's been, because look, I'm not a gun industry professional by any stretch. I'm a guy, my career has been in the logistics industry, logistics and transportation. So I move freight for a living, sales and marketing, but have also held operational roles. And that's been great. I've traveled the world with that job. This whole firearms thing really sprung up because I found, going back, if you see that in back of me, that's a Bulgarian Arsenal 107 that I literally just picked up yesterday because I needed a way to say, F you, Joe Biden. And that's what I do when these guys do that stuff, is I usually end up with another scary looking rifle. But the first big video I ever did,
we have put together, I think the most.
I hit the wrong buttons.
That's all right. First video
I'm
going to hit that one. Sorry.
Come on, man. Okay.
Yeah.
The first video I ever did was on a side folding version of that in 545 by 39. And all I did was just take videos and hover over it. And I had some music in the background. I said, this is a really cool rifle. And at some point, rather quickly, I noticed 6,000 people watched it. And I'm like, why would anybody want to watch that? I just did it for my own fun. And it kind of took off from there. I just started playing around with editing and things like that, and have evolved my presentation skills, I suppose, to a degree. But what's happening now, being a guy with around 50,000, a little bit more than 50,000 subscribers and 10.5 million views of my channel, is now I'm getting an opportunity to do stuff like this. I'm getting an opportunity. I'm gonna tour the Remington ammunition manufacturing plant, along with a couple other YouTubers in a couple months down in Arkansas. That's all possible because of the channel. I'm working with Leopold. I'm working with Henry Rifles, Henry USA. I did an interview with Anthony Imperati, who's the owner. Great guy.
I love my Henry.
Oh, they're great rifles. And Anthony Imperati, you won't find a finer American story. And I'm sure he'd do your show, by the way, if you reached out to him.
Yeah, I'm sure he would too. I just haven't reached out to him. Usually, I reached out to you, but usually I have a thing where people can fill out if they want to come on the show, and that's how I usually get most of my guests. But I'll reach out to him. Henry sent me a 410 side loader like a year before they came out.
Oh, the lever action?
Yeah, this before it came out, and they're like, it's embargoed for a year, so you can have it. Well, I don't know how long it's embargoed for, but it turned out to be a year. But they're like, but you can't show anyone, you can't do anything with it, and it killed me. It just
how do you like it?
Oh, I love it.
Because they're sending me that and one of their long rangers in 308.
Yeah.
And they said, hey, can you do an overview and stuff like that. But I'm also working with Ruger. I'm having conversations with Savage. Got my first shipment of stuff to test from Leopold today. So, yeah, I mean, this is all stuff that I would have never dreamed of. And it's kind of fun to be a guy in your late 50s. And it's like all of a sudden your hobby isn't strapping you.
Yeah.
You got people sending you guns to shoot. That's pretty cool.
Well, that's why I started writing, is because I wanted free stuff. And my wife kept on getting mad at me. I kept on buying. I wanted gun stuff and I kept on buying guns. So she was like, I said, well, how about if I find a way that I can get them for free? And she was like, yeah, whatever. And then I started writing about them, and I'm more of a writer than a YouTuber. And I started writing about them, and then I started getting free stuff. Then I started transitioning over to writing about other stuff. Then I transitioned over into, the activism side as well. So then it became a whole second career for me. Because my wife said, you can't buy any more guns.
I like your shirt, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Red October. Did you go to Red October? Have you been there?
Nope, I've never been, but I'm familiar with it.
I
should. I'm a big fan of these guys, for example.
Yeah, IWI.
I've got a Galil Ace and love it. So,
yeah, IWI is a cool company. I met those guys out there. X-Tech flew me out to Vegas to go to Red October. They were one of the sponsors a couple years ago, right before COVID hit, and it was cool. And I think it only is like $10 to get in if you're the member of the general public. But there's tons of machine guns to shoot.
Oh, I know.
It's like a 2-day event. We shoot machine guns. And you don't pay for ammo or anything.
Have you met Rob from AK Operators Union?
I think I have, yeah. Okay. Out there. I met so many people out there.
Who's the guy at Rifle Dynamics that lives out in Vegas? Really, really good guy.
Mark.
No.
He's the you talking about Jim Fuller?
Jim Fuller.
Yeah, he's no longer at Rifle Dynamics. He sold to a guy named Mark.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Talk about me keeping up with stuff.
Yeah, he sold a couple years ago to Mark is a cool guy too. Mark is now the owner of Rifle Dynamics, and he owns the MP44, and he let me shoot.
Nice.
Like tons and tons of it. Yeah.
Nice.
Jim Fuller, he has a new company now.
I'm not surprised. I think he's originally from Iceland.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, he's citizen and all that stuff, but I think he's originally from Iceland, if I'm not mistaken. But I kind of knew him a little while ago, but it wasn't in any real capacity other than like Facebook friends kind of thing. He's a great guy.
Yeah, his new company is called SKW America.
Okay.
But Jim Fuller, I mean, oh my God, that dude knows so much about Kalashnikovs.
Yeah, and my go-to guy for that though is the guy named Mishacho. Have you ever seen his channel? He's a guy who's legally blind, so he's wearing sunglasses, and he knows more about the history of like AKs that we've imported, and at one time we sold this and one time we sold that. But his name is Chacho, I believe, and he's got a YouTube channel. He's great. Anybody? We just got on AKs there, and I wanted to give this guy a shout out.
Yeah. Actually, Guns and Barbecue is legally blind, and he does gun stuff on YouTube, and he's out there in the audience right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say anything stupid like, well, hey, do you know this other blind guy? But I bet he's heard of this guy.
Yeah, probably. One of the things that Jim Fuller did that's amazing is when he did his tunable AK gas block. Oh, nice.
This guy.
Yeah.
And he knows more than anybody I've seen.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Fuller is in Phoenix now.
Tunable gas block.
Yeah.
How is that different than an adjustable gas block?
It's the same thing, but they just call it a tunable gas block. That's just what they call it. It's like an adjustable gas block, but you see those on ARs a lot, but you don't really see those on AKs.
My favorite adjustable gas block is on my SIG 556, which is a 550 version that came out in the US, and they were trying to make a go of it in 2007, 2008, 2009. It's a great gun. It's just that the US was going all crazy for ARs, and they didn't really hit the right space. But anyway, it's a piston driven 556, and it's got adjustable gas block, and the adjustment is hole. Oh, it's dirty. Turn it, bigger hole. That's it. That's nice. The adjustment. And I love those kind of simple solutions, because that's, if you're in the field, and which would be a good reason why maybe you haven't cleaned your system, and you need the sucker to keep running, there you go.
Yeah, I use mine whenever I shoot suppressed.
Yeah, I never went the suppression route, and believe me, I hear about it all the time. Do a review on this. Do a review on that. My son's getting ready to put a suppressor on. He's got a SIG Rattler and 300 blackout, and he's going to put a suppressor on it. I'm like, great. We'll let you do the video on that.
Yeah. What a lot of people don't realize is that a 300 blackout isn't the original round. 300 Whisper was, and it was made to run suppressor. But a lot of people think it's the other way around.
Yeah, no. And you know what? I recently blew up a gun.
How'd you do that?
I had a Ruger 556 that a friend asked me. He wanted to. It had the F gas block on front, and he wanted to put a micro gas block on it and put a floating rail on it, which, no problem. I know how to do all that stuff. And somehow, and I don't know how, a 300 blackout round got into my 556 ammo. I don't know if I did it. I don't know if it came. I don't know what the deal was. But long story short is it was in the magazine, and it's my responsibility to catch that. So I'm not trying to duck that.
Well, yeah. Well, somebody mentioned it earlier in the stream. I meant to bring it up, but I just totally forgot about it.
Mention what? That video, or
yeah?
They say
they said David's the. He said David's the only guy that's able to shoot a 300 blackout out of a 556 barrel.
Well, no, I actually wasn't able to do that. It blew up the frickin' receiver like nobody's business.
Oh, I bet it did.
And the good news is the way that system was designed was it shot the magazine straight down through the well, and I wasn't hurt, but it was pretty effed up, and I did a lot of research after the fact, and it shouldn't go to battery, but it's close enough in spec that it's very possible that it will.
Yeah, it can force its way into battery. It was Alan Powell. Alan Powell said that. Apparently, he watches your show.
Well, he's probably thinking that's the idiot that blew up an AR. So
no, I like when people do that, because it shows people make a mistake. Like
Yeah. I mean, that's the way it is, man. When I'm testing accuracy of a rifle and I'm showing 300 yards or whatever, I don't do stuff like just show the good shots, and I try to be as honest as I can, and that's where I have a little bit of a dilemma with when somebody sends me something to test out. If I think it sucks, I don't feel like I owe it to just basically say this sucks and torch them on YouTube. I'll tell them this sucks. I'm not going to say that it doesn't. So either make it right or we're not going to do a review on this.
Yeah, I think we talked about that offline on the phone about that.
Yeah. I mean, if you just come out and barbecue everything you like except a Glock or whatever, you're not going to be testing anybody's equipment. But it's how you handle it.
Yeah,
but when people say there's some YouTubers that every week they get a new gun, and every week it's the best gun they ever shot, and I think that's kind of thin.
Yeah, like when I wrote about Alienware holsters, and I pointed out that there was a flaw in one of their holsters that was there because on a certain type of firearm, when you drew it, you could dump the mag. Right. You can drop the mag, and I told them about that, and they fixed it. And I mean, I wrote it in the review and everything. They fixed it, and they're like, "Thank you for letting us know. Here's something else for you to review if you want." And I was like, "I just trashed your holster." They're like, "Yeah, but we fixed it, and we want honest reviews." So they have Alienware. I haven't did a review. I don't really do that many reviews, but Alienware is a tremendous company for not only taking the criticism but fixing the problem that I found with the holster, and then saying we're never going to give you anything else to look at.
Well, and there's people like that. I mean, I started probably about a year ago. I started hearing from a lot of Chinese companies that wanted, and a real big one, Olight. And I just said, quit sending me stuff. I mean, number one, I just have a hard time getting behind a Chinese company for a lot of reasons. And
no royalties.
Yeah, the royalties. I'll tell you what, you and I can split that nickel, bro. But I just don't want to do a review for a Chinese company's flashlight. You know what I mean? And the other thing I get is a lot of companies that are like, we'll give you your own promotional code, and you can have an affiliate program. And I'm like, you haven't even sent me your product yet. You expect me to start pimping it out and putting your code up? I will do that in a non-annoying way if I like the product.
Yeah.
But the whole point is if people start getting a sense when they tune into my channel, and you've seen this happen like crazy with YouTubers, half of their content is click, subscribe. I'm going to give you this deal. I'm going to give you that deal. And
the commercials.
There's a lot of people that just don't want to see that. I'm one of them. So I've actually snuck some stuff on at the end of a video where I've said, video's over, shameless promotion coming up. Watch, turn off now if you don't want to see it. I just don't want to be, I just would like people to see me as being an independent voice when it comes to that stuff, as opposed to, well, what's he selling now? But at the same point in time, you got to pay the bills. So it's kind of balance.
Well, if anybody wants to get 10% off, you can use code Crumpy on blackswantactical.com. I actually own Black Swan Tactical.
All right. I was about to say, dude, that was the best comedic timing ever.
Yeah, I did that. Black Swan Tactical is my own shop.
I would say that it's a fine line to walk. And the good news is I got a day job. So I'd like to make a couple bucks doing this, at least make it worth my time and stuff. But that never has been the prime motivator. And like I said, whatever people that do like me, that comment about it, say they like me because they feel like I'm a straight shooter and I don't wave my arms and shout and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, you can certainly get enough of that on YouTube. So,
well, I mean, I have no issues with promotional codes if you actually like the product, like Mantis. I think it's code Crumpy on Mantis, but I don't get any money back from that. Usually, I don't want any money, or I think it's John Crump on Safe Life Defense, which is a body armor company, and I don't get any money from that either. But I just like, well, hey, if I just like helping people save money on good products. Like Mantis is awesome products. Have you ever messed with the Mantis at all? The Mantis
what was that again?
Mantis, they're a company. They make the Mantis X, which helps you improve your handguns. They make the Blackbeard, which is an automatic trigger reset, and a laser for an AR, so you can practice dry firing an AR.
I'll have to check them out, but no, I'm not familiar with it.
If you want to improve your shooting, the Mantis X Elite, and this is not sponsored, but it
might be if you do a good job, John.
Yeah, but it is by far the best training device out there. What it is it's a device that sticks on your handgun, and it measures like the minute movements you have. So like movements that you're not even realizing you're doing, like anticipating the recoil or anything like that. And it takes like 1,000 measurements a second, faster than
all the stuff that wasting ammo all over the place would tell you you're doing it. It will tell you.
It tells you like right away, and there's a little app so you can look on your phone. You can set up your phone there.
Nice.
And it's like, okay, well, you're pulling to the left, you're pulling to the right.
That reminds me of that chart that's out there that says good, and then it's got the little circle chart, and all the other areas around it outside of dead center say, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck.
Yeah, but it really does help you. And
no, it sounds like it.
It's like, and not only that, it's like, okay, well, your trigger, it figures out what you're doing wrong and lets you know.
With 9mm going for $20 a box right now, I could see the value in something like that, especially now.
Not only that, it's the speed.
Yeah, and you can do it at home.
You do it at home. You dry fire it, then you go to the range. You can take it to the range and fire it at the range, and it's the amount of time it saves. It saves you is like, it's worth every penny. It's kind of expensive, like $250, but
I think it's $21 up and up.
Yeah, exactly.
50 rounds of 9mm. So what's your definition of expensive these days? It changes every day.
Yeah, and their Blackbeard is a device where it replaces the charging handle, bolt carrier, and the magazine, and it's a trigger reset. So you can practice dry firing it instead of having to like manually charge your AR. It charges it automatically, so you can practice your dry firing, and it has a laser in there that shoots down the barrel, so you can see where your point of aim is. I
thought you were channeling Dr. Evil there for a second. A shark with a laser on its head.
A freaking laser.
How hard can this be? No, I mean there's I was sitting here looking at the time. I'm like, holy crap, we've spent
we got about
50 minutes already, and I don't feel like we've talked about much anything at this point. So I guess we have to get serious now.
All right. Let's get serious. No, I think this is the point of my show, is it can go anywhere. We can talk about anything. It can start guns and everything. I also have like writers on. I have artists on.
Nice.
Like I had one guy on who is a Owen Wilson. Not Owen Wilson.
I'd say that's a good catch, dude.
No, not Owen. If you don't Owen Wilson, but I had this artist on, and he is a really well-known artist, and for some reason his name is escaping me now. But I was looking at
he's well known.
He's very well known, and
Okay.
I was looking at some of his
Important
art.
artist.
Yeah, I was looking at some of his art, and some of the art, he'll like do like somebody smoking a cigarette with a gun or whatever. And I noticed the guns were very, very accurate. So I wrote him, and I was like, "Why is your gun so accurate? Do you study it?" I was just curious. And he, artists, you think big liberals, anti-gun.
You mean accurately, like his depiction is technically accurate?
Correct.
Gotcha.
And then he was like, "No," he's like, "I'm a big gun guy." I was like, "Really?" And yeah, but he's like, "Yeah, most of my clients don't know that."
No, probably not in the art community. Well, next time I come on, I'm into guitars too, so I'll just have a guitar in hand while I'm talking about guns. So here you go. I could have a guitar in my hands on YouTube, right?
Yeah, don't really get the question. Joe's asking North Carolina pistol purchase repeal, which is awesome. How do feel both sides thinking they are correct? Well, everyone always thinks they're correct about their own sides.
Yeah. Welcome to Delusionville.
Except my side is correct.
Yeah, that's why you become a writer, right?
Yeah, I think you should be able to order a gun out of a Sears catalog and have it delivered to your house.
Well, they did that for years, and the crime statistics were significantly lower than they are now.
Imagine that.
Yeah, hard to believe. Used to be able to get a Thompson submachine gun from the Sears catalog before the NFA was created. You could get a Thompson submachine gun literally from the Sears catalog.
Yep.
You imagine that? How many people got that and then went and shot their neighbor? Not many.
Yeah, I have a collection of old gun memorabilia, and one of the things is the old catalog with the Thompson in there.
Nice.
So
what was it going for? Like $200 probably?
No.
150?
Yeah, it was around 100-ish. I had to look.
Was
again.
it? It wouldn't have been cheap.
No. Back in the day, that wasn't cheap, but it wasn't super expensive.
Well, that's why they went from the Tommy gun to the grease gun pretty quick. Is just you could crank out 20 grease guns in the amount of time it took to mill the living crap out of a Tommy gun, and then on top of everything else, the Tommy gun weighed like 8 times as much. So,
yeah. Swamp Dog hit me up. I will get it out of my safe, and give it to. I have it since it's paper. I have a atmosphere controlled safe thing.
What are you talking about? Oh, your
sorry.
ad.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. I was talking about the Swamp Dog. The Swamp Dog is a friend of mine, and he wants to do a video on it.
Gotcha.
So I was just I was just answering him, saying that I would have to get it out of my safe because it's paper, so it
makes sense.
It has to be in like a controlled environment.
Yep. Especially, well, where are you? Are you in Virginia? No,
I'm in Virginia. Yes.
Okay, yeah. I spent a summer living in Virginia, and it's ungodly humid there.
Yeah, it gets really humid during the summertime.
Yep. I used to live pretty close to the Potomac, and
where?
Actually, well, I lived in Falls Church for a while, and then I lived actually in Cabin John, Maryland.
Yeah, well, I live in Ashburn, which is in Loudoun County.
Yeah, so I was about 4 blocks from the river, and I was working for the Department of Defense at the time. And you would take a shower in the morning, and if you didn't throw your towel in the dryer before you went to work, if you just hung it up, 24 hours later, it would still be too damp to use with air conditioning on.
Yeah,
that was humid.
I grew up here, so I'm used to it.
I guess. Well, I grew up in St. Louis. It gets really humid here or there, but I'm in Minnesota now, and today actually happens to be a fairly humid day as well. So,
yeah, I have family in Minnesota. They used to own in Minneapolis, right across, like my uncle who's passed away, right across from the stadium there. There used to be a sporting goods store that had like a little sports museum and everything in it. And my
nice.
uncle used to own that.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, but I've never actually been out there though.
Well, we figured out a way to make this a real interesting city over the last few years with all things associated with George Floyd and
Oh yeah.
The city of Minneapolis proper used to be some place that was a destination, and it no longer is.
Yeah, you were in the middle of some yeah.
Middle of the shit. Can I say that? Does Facebook let you say that? I say
Yeah,
shit.
that's fine. You
Yeah,
can say
middle
whatever
of
you
the
want.
shit.
They'll find a way to demonetize me anyway. So.
Well, then I might as well be associated with it. But apparently they didn't cut off the stream, so I didn't break any rule, at least not for too long. So
Well, yeah, they didn't notice it. Basically, what they do is it gets marked, and they go through and they review it. And if it's too far in the past, then they just let it go. But sometimes it'll be like 10 minutes. Sometimes it'll be.
well, let's hope not. And my apologies if I did.
Oh no, no. After the stream's
urgent.
over, I think we're safe.
But I think this is it never ends. You know, everybody thinks that you know, when it comes to the whole firearms culture against legislation, political garbage associated with it, it never ends. It just absolutely never ends, and it's not going to end. You know, the war's never going to end. We can only hope to win little battles along the way. You know, I just found out I'm going to be a grandparent for the first time.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. So that's going to be next year. And one of my, you know, besides being overjoyed and happy and all that kind of stuff. No, I don't know Andrew Rothman. Thank you. Besides being overjoyed and all that kind of stuff, as I kind of started thinking about it a little bit, I'm kind of like, I wonder if said grandchild, when he's 21 years old, will be able to go and buy a hunting rifle or buy an AR or a shotgun, or if what's going to be going on, because it's not going to stop. It's just never going to stop. Apparently, people don't understand that something being in the Constitution suggests permanence. Doesn't seem to be that yet. So many of these same people, and now I'm really getting off here. So many of these same people are willing to die and fight for something that's never mentioned in the Constitution, and that's called abortion. So it really blows my mind the lack of reverence for what our Constitution explicitly says, and the crap that gets said about it. And, you know, oh, it was just the Second Amendment was just there to keep slaves in check. No, it wasn't.
You sound like the ACLU now.
Yeah, right? No, it wasn't. It was there to keep our government in check.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it was there for.
It was the ultimate break in case of emergency, or break in case of tyranny.
Yeah. Yeah, we could probably do an hour on take an inventory of all those cool guns we left in Afghanistan too for the Taliban. That'd take up an hour.
That'd take up way more.
It would take up a long time. So that's the thing. So I mean, if I had a parting message, it would be, my fellow Americans, it's important that you understand that your president believes that terrorists who want to kill you not only have the right to own and bear arms, we're going to give them to them, but you don't have the right to defend yourself against said terrorists. And we're going to probably let those people come into this country by droves. A good many of them we should, because they had our back. And make sure they get their shots. And the easiest way to get them up here would be through Mexico.
Yeah, well, we might have a point there.
But, you know, that's what we need to know about our president is he believes that's where rights start and stop. And if you're an American citizen, forget you.
The fact is that I don't remember.
I'm getting there myself.
Yeah.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
That's great. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
You can come back anytime. Tell people where to find you.
I am at Gun News and Reviews on YouTube. So just search Gun News and Reviews. You'll find me, and hopefully we'll enjoy some of my content and would love to hear about it. And again, I really appreciate you having me, John. And let me know when you need a guest. I'll make time, buddy.
Awesome. Thank you. I just wanted to let everyone know on John Crump News on YouTube, I am 11 people away from 10,000. So go ahead and get that channel up. I do multiple channels. I had a channel that was bigger, but it got killed.
What's it called again?
John Crump News.
All strung together or three words?
Yeah, all strung together. It's just youtube.com/John Crump News.
If you would email me the links to this, I'll mention, John, I'll mention that when I mention this interview or time we spent together.
Yeah. I do a live stream channel. Then I have another channel that I broke off when I came over from writing, because I still write too. Yeah, I'll email you the links.
Yeah, send it over, and I'll try to help see if we can't get you those 11 more followers.
I'm sure I probably will have them pretty soon.
I would think so. 10,000. It's not going to take a month.
No, it's probably going to be tonight. I mean, it's a relatively new channel, so I'm sure it'll go fast.
Cool.
All right, guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I am going to take tomorrow off because I want to. Usually I live stream four days a week, but not tomorrow. See you guys.